Why are we here? What are we supposed to do? What is it for?
Big questions.
Big questions.
Question.
I've discovered what the meaning of life is. What is our purpose and what is our intent? Why are we supposed to be? What are we supposed to do? So, if you're poor, you're born poor, you grow up poor, you have poor kids, you marry a poor girl, you grow up, they have poor kids, and then you die poor. So obviously, getting rich is not the meaning of life.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
You're born rich, you have rich kids, marry a rich wife, blah, 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 die rich. Being poor is not the meaning of life. It's within the actions, right? It's what we do with the life is where the meaning comes from and the intent. It's part of our actions. It's things we're required to do. Yep. So it's become apparent to me, and this sounds kind of funny and goofy, but there's more to it. Life, the meaning of life is that life is supposed to suck. It is supposed to be a shit sandwich, right? It is supposed to be a struggle every day. It is supposed to challenge you and try to hurt you and crush you in every way possible until you give up and die. And that sounds a little heavy and a little dark.
Very heavy and very dark, but continue. I'm here.
What is one thing that is constant in life, regardless of what happens, where you are on the planet, who you are, what's your gender, your sexual orientation, your age, your wealth, your status? Gravity is there all the time, always. Gravity is always there. When you wake up in the morning, you're laying down and gravity just has its fucking fat thumb on you. And you've got to fight back. You've got to fight against gravity just to get up. Just to get out of bed, you have to fight immediately. And you have to stay standing all day long. And if you ever decide to quit, gravity's there, and it's going to push you right back down. Always. It is always there until you can't stand anymore. And you go in the ground, they bury you 6 feet under the dirt, and gravity will still push you and push you and push you. And it'll pack that dirt tighter on top of you, so tight, and push and push. And it always gets the last laugh. Always. With that being said, everyone experiences that same gravity. Everybody. Everyone has to fight the same every day. They just don't realize it. You fight. You wake up in the morning and gravity is there, and you have to fight against it just to get out of bed and do anything. Productive, non-productive, good, evil, whatever. You still have to fight gravity just to be, just to exist, right?
Yes.
So everyone shares in that burden, but they don't alleviate the burden from anyone else. It is your own to bear. But the beauty of it and the meaning of life, the reason we're here is to positively impact someone else. To cross paths with somebody and just for a split second make them forget that life fucking sucks. And it's free. It costs nothing.
Yes.
You could spend money on it if you want, but it doesn't have to be costly. It can be free, completely free. And you have no idea how much you impact somebody's life in that split second when you cross paths with them and make them forget that life sucks for a minute.
Yeah.
You don't know. Here you are. I'm driving down the road right now, and there's oddly enough a RAV4 passing me. It's very unfortunate. But The guy driving the RAV4, he's got a fucking 9mm pistol with one bullet in it in the passenger seat. He's going to drive up to the end of the road, and he's going to suck start that thing. Right?
Yep.
Probably not, but I don't know that.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And he's going to do this because he got fired from his job, his wife left him, his kids don't want anything to do with him, nobody gives a shit about this guy. And as I see him passing me, I just give him a casual wave. And we make eye contact for that millisecond where we're in focus. And I give him that friendly little wave. I don't know this guy. He don't know me. But I wave at him.
Mm-hmm.
And he waves back.
Yep.
And he turns the car around and he goes home. Because he has that moment of clarity where he thinks, someone does care. They don't know me. But someone just showed me a kind gesture. Maybe I'll suck start this pistol tomorrow. So he goes home, and on the way home, there's an orphanage on fire, whatever. And he's like, well, I'm going to die anyway. I'll run in there and save a bunch of kids. And the kids grow up and cure cancer, right? Like this butterfly effect of goodness because of that one little gesture. And I'll never know. It's not like he's going to be this big money mogul where everybody knows who he is, and he says, I was going to kill myself until some guy in this 2020 YGMC in a military uniform waved at me. I'm never going to know this.
Well, it's not about the recognition either. Like you said, it's
not. But
yeah.
I'm not going to know how that wave turned out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to know the severity of the situation when I wave. I'm not going to know the severity of the situation when I say, oh, let me hold the door for you. Or when I buy that random 50-cent thing of candy for this kid who obviously can't afford it, or whatever that small little gesture is, those encouraging words, the random wave, the getting out of my seat so somebody who obviously needs it more than me can sit down. You don't know how much of an impact you're going to make, but that tiny blip where you cross paths could change somebody's life.
Absolutely.
The more you do it, the more they will do it. The more they do it to someone else, the more that someone else will do it to someone else. And if everyone is doing it, life isn't all that shitty anymore.
I'll be honest, when you started this conversation, I was wondering where you were going with it because it did get really dark and really heavy, but I knew you were going somewhere profound with it. And it's funny how the whole conversation links back up because that's what we were talking about at the very beginning of the conversation. We were talking about the RAV4s and then dream cars and then, okay, well, if you do make a lot of money and then you have kids that grow up with all this money, how do you help them understand the balance? Because at the end of the day, like you said, regardless if you're rich or regardless if you're poor, pain is universal. You might not be experiencing the same pain because sometimes when you're poor, you're experiencing the pains of being poor, right? And then likewise, when you're rich, you are bearing the pains of being rich, which some people would say, well, how is there pain when you're rich? But just think about how many wealthy people have taken their own lives. You know what I mean? Like, pain is universal. So like you said, dude, that thoughtfulness, and we got onto the topic of just like the idea of buying that guy that BMW bus or whatever. You know, it's like, it's not the price tag attached to what you do, because a lot of what we're even talking about doesn't have to have a price tag on it. It's, like you said, when you spread positivity, whether it's holding that door open, whether it's saying a kind word, whether it's giving someone a call, whether it's, holding the door open, doing the wave, like you never know what that person's going through, and you never know the alternative. That's the thing too. Like if you don't do it, you know what I mean? You have that, you make that eye contact, and instead of smiling and waving, you just don't. And then that guy drives to his destination, and he does do that act of taking his life. You know what I mean? You don't know the alternative. So if you just lean into the thoughtfulness of keeping mindful that everybody is experiencing pain on one level or another, we don't know what is behind each other's